Chapter 20. With the danger past, I went back into slime form. But just as we were about to head home. Where am I? What happened to me? I heard confused muttering. Phobio had awoken. It put Benimaru and Shion on their guard, but Phobio wouldn't have had any energy to fight right now. His wounds were fully healed, but his magic power was exhausted. Plus, with Charybdis fully extracted and eliminated from him, he was back to merely being a high-level magic-born nobody we couldn't take, if it came to that. Hey there, you up? Do you remember what you did? I spoke slowly to the bleary-eyed Phobio, who was gradually regaining consciousness at the sound of my words. Then he jumped up and, incredibly suddenly, prostrated himself before me and Milam. Guess he remembered. I am sorry. I deeply apologize to you. I've done something horrible to you, Lady Rimuru, and I've put so much trouble upon all of you a second time. When he gonna stop annoying me? I was just about to punch him when Trainee asked an important question. How did you know where Charybdis was sealed away? Because I highly doubt you merely stumbled upon it. That was a good point. Well, to his credit, he didn't hide any of it and fully explained what happened to him, the request he made to the two masked agents of the moderate jesters. So maybe this isn't a plot by Carrion after all, which raises more questions. A pair of strange-looking masked clowns. But that location is secret, only we knew where it was, and it was the hero herself who told us. A formidable foe, indeed, if they were able to track it down. And masked, you say? This seemed to trouble Trainee in particular. She seemed to know them. Was one of the masks asymmetrical, perhaps? Drawn to look like they were making fun of you? And no, there was a girl whose mask made it look like she was crying, and then a fat man with an angry mask. They called themselves Tyr and Footman. Not the guy Trainee knew, then. But, wow, mysterious masked magic born, Wait a sec. Hey, I think Benimaru said there was one there during the attack on their homeland. Yes, I just thought of that myself. A rotund magic born wearing a mask of anger. That was one of the people controlling the orcs. Indeed, one of the orc generals working away from my command was accompanied by a high-level magic-born bodyguard, hired by Gelmid. That man's name was Footman, Geld added. Then, and come to think of it, when Sir Laplace rescued me, he said he was in Gelmid's employ as well. He said he was the vice president of the moderate jesters, which he described as a jacks-of-all-trades group. And the mask he had on. It was just as Trainee described. Asymmetrical and with an arrogant expression on it. Gabble dropped the bombshell. Events from across the land were suddenly being connected together. The moderate jesters. A mysterious band of jacks of all trades. They sounded like trouble, so I decided to ask Milam if she knew anything. I've never heard of that group before, no. Nobody said anything about using guys like those to cause strife among races or anything. How interesting. I wish I could have gotten to meet them. Milam, at least, had heard nothing from her Demon Lord cohorts. She didn't know many details about the whole Orc Lord operation, I suppose. Gelmid was the main man behind all that. Apparently Milam just got the outlines of it, not the little details like hiring a bunch of jokers to help push things along. Maybe it was Clayman scheming behind the scenes with this, not Gelmid. He had the connections for that, she indifferently continued. Clayman, why him? He just loves dirty little schemes like that. The Orc Lord operation was devised by three of those lords, who assigned the job to Gelmid in order to keep things balanced among themselves. If any of them was gonna try to game the system, as Milam described it, it was definitely Clayman. I didn't have much to comment about on that point, so I filed the fact away in the back of my mind. We now had a fairly ample amount of info to work with. Putting it all together, one truth became clear about this incident. These moderate jester guys liked approaching their targets with claims of offering help. It allowed the jesters to achieve their goals without dirtying their own hands. Sounds like they used and abused you, Try to be a bit more careful about taking fishy offers like this in the future, alright. Phobio wasn't exactly free of fault here, but given that the real culprit was elsewhere, it didn't seem right to punish him. I didn't want to stir up added trouble, besides. If he swore he wouldn't bother us anymore, I was glad to let him go free. He was still prostrate before us. I don't deserve to be forgiven. I accepted this offer at my own discretion. It had nothing to do with Lord Carillon, so please, allow me to pay for this with my life. And no, really, if I kill you, Demon Lord Carrion might get pissed. I'd rather be friends than fight. I said, then raised my voice slightly toward the one still hiding. Seriously, you've been standing there long enough. Just come out and talk. A man appeared from the underbrush. He had an attractively rough, unpolished look, sporting a well-tailored but well-worn outfit. His short blonde hair stood on end, his sharp eyes only adding to the intense atmosphere he presented. Not bad. You've got sharper senses than I gave you credit for. So this is Carillon the Demon Lord, huh? Hey, the name's Carillon. Thanks for helpin' this guy out without killing him. Thus the Demon Lord Carillon greeted me, looking me straight in the eye. The air grew suddenly tense. My name is Rimuru Tempest, the leader of Tempest, our nation of monsters here in the forest, I declared. PFF'd. A single magic-born person, establishing a new nation. Perhaps I would've believed it in the past, but in this world, you'd have to be suicidal. I was told the Orc Lord killed our mystery magic-born, but I guess that report wasn't too true, huh? You're the masked magic-born that killed Gelmid, aren't you? You look at this slime, and that's the conclusion you reach. That was the only thing I could think. But Milam was here, and maybe he got to witness the battle against Charybdis as well. Yep, you're right. I transformed into my human form, glaring at him, calm but ready for fight. So, you here to get back at me for that, or is this about something else? I doubted it, but I asked anyway. Carillon grinned at the question. Ha 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 ha, funny. No wonder Milam likes you. The laughter instantly dispelled all the tension. But once he was done guffawing to himself, Carillon's face stiffened. Then, he did something none of us was expecting. He admitted he was wrong. Well, sorry one of my men went berserk on you. Guess I neglected to supervise him well enough, and I hope you'll forgive me for that. He didn't bow his head or anything, but he did apologize in the only way he could. Plus, you could say I owe you one now, I suppose. Let me know if you have anything I can help ya with. He owes me one, huh? If that's how he sees it, I can think of something. In that case, it'd be nice if you could sign a non-aggression treaty with us. Quote. Is that all you need? All right. By my name as Demon Lord, or should I say, as the Beast Master Carillon of the Beast Kingdom of Eurazania, I swear I'll never turn our blades on any of you. That assumes, of course, you promise the same to us. He accepted it, easily another sign of his incredible capabilities. I found it quite admirable. Since we were already flustered enough, we agreed to send envoys later on to work out the details. And that pretty much wrapped up the day. Carillon let his fists do the talking with Phobio, putting him near the brink of death once more, but we all have our funny traits like that, I suppose. He lent his limp subordinate a shoulder as the two of them shuffled away and teleported themselves back home. It was time for us to return home, too. The day had its ups and downs, but things were finally starting to settle down a bit. Several days had passed since Charybdis's defeat. The land of Tempest was calm once more. A lot had happened, certainly, but our nation was finally starting to get recognized, and I couldn't have been happier. We were now on friendly relations with the armed nation of Dworgen and the Kingdom of Blumend. The road between us and Dworgen would be opening up soon, and my official invitation had already arrived. I needed to make my report, but they were planning more to receive me as an official state guest. Over in Blumend, Fuse was doing a lot for me by going around royal and noble circles and convincing them that given how this latest crisis had turned out, it'd be much more to their advantage to work with us, not against us. Blumend wasn't a large nation, so, noble circles, didn't encompass that many people, as he said. None were putting up a lot of roadblocks against him, so I doubted I had much to worry about. And there's another nation I shouldn't be forgetting, the Beast Kingdom of Eurazania. If our talks went well there, that'd be one more nation to build formal ties with. We got put through the ringer, but we sure earned a lot from it. There was no telling how our discussions would turn out yet, but building a formal friendship with one of the bigger demon lords was a major coup. I wanted to see it succeed. So we gained a lot, and if anything I, personally, gained just as much. The Charybdis-specific skills magic interference and gravity flight, for one. That, and resist magic, the ultimate ace in the hole against any magic thrown at me. So what were we doing now? Thus, swish, thwom, bash, I think the ambient noise speaks well enough for itself. Benimaru, Soe, Shion, and I were being pummeled. Wah ha 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 ha. Save your breath. The woman laughing shrilly at us was, of course, the demon Lord Milam. She was training us, which I thought appropriate given how unfairly strong she was. It was 4 of us against the one of her, but it was hopeless. The dragon's eye from her saw completely through every trick and attack we attempted. That's Milam for you. She's incredible, I thought, more intensely than ever before. Milam was wearing a dragon knuckle around her fist, the weapon present I had promised her long ago. Such knuckles were originally meant for punching with your bare hands without hurting yourself, boosting the force of your strikes in the process. Not this one, this was the exact opposite. Put this on, and it restricted your punching power by around 90%. The Magisteel at its core applied the reduced speed and power drain inscription magics to the wearer. When I gave it to her, she peered at it with intense curiosity, then gladly accepted it. She'd been wearing it every moment since, including during meals, which I had to warn her about, much to her whining chagrin. I was glad she liked it. This dragon knuckle did a whole lot to save us all. We'd been engaging in mock battles every morning with Milam since that day. It had become a regular part of the routine. Her power was just ridiculous, her agility practically cheating, her stamina inexhaustible. Thank heavens she was on our side. Training with Milam occupied my mornings. After lunch, I did my rounds in each section of the town. It was an orderly, scheduled life, and I stuck to it for many weeks. So the days passed by, all of us growing even stronger than before. I was growing, too. You've certainly improved, Rimuru. If you declared yourself a demon lord, I sure wouldn't complain. By the way, why did you become a demon lord, Milam? I asked to change the subject. I'm not sure. Something really bad happened, and it got me so angry that I became one. Why are you asking me? Well, I don't remember. It was a super long time ago, so I forgot. Despite her cheerful reply, I wondered if maybe something bad had happened after all. It'd be rude to prod her any further about it. All right, if you forgot, you don't have to try to remember it or anything. I ended the conversation there. Several days later. Okay, I'm off to work. Milam made a sudden declaration. That's kind of sudden, Milam. Right now. Well, this isn't, like, the last time I'll see you or anything, so yeah, I'm headin' out. With that, she changed back into the bikini-ish outfit she'd first arrived in. She used change dress for the job, a bit of magic that was so helpful that I had her teach it to me. It's recommended to anyone with a lot of clothing, although you need to learn spatial magic first for clothes storage, which actually makes it tough to learn for others. In her original outfit, Milam turned to me and smiled. I'll be sure to tell the other demon lords not to lay a finger on this place, okay? You've got nothing to worry about, Rimuru. Oh, great, so you're off to meet them? That's my job. She puffed out her chest proudly. There was apparently some kind of conference among her, Caroline, and the assorted other demon lords out there. The concept kind of scared me, a secret tryst where the demon lords of the world wove their sinister conspiracies in private. The whole Orc Lord thing resulted from one of those meetings, so I felt I had a personal stake. Well, I'll be back soon. And she was off into the air. So sudden, just like when she came. And in another moment, she was silently breaking the sound barrier, no shock wave, oddly, and falling out of sight. She said the site was pretty far off, but at that speed, she didn't have long to travel. It didn't seem right, feeling all sad about someone like Milam, but losing her so suddenly like this did make one feel lonely. Thinking about it, she had really become a big part of this town. The way she could take over your mind like that. She was Terius Demon Lord. So before long, I resumed my training under Hakuro, my mind refocused on my mission. I could see a bunch of children playing around outside. 3 boys and 2 girls. They ran up to me at first sight, overjoyed to see me. Teacher, what are we gonna do today? They all asked, their eyes shining. A determined-looking boy, a timid-looking boy, a reticent-looking boy, a lively-looking girl, and a wise-looking girl. They were all my students, and I doted upon them. Today, however, my emotions were a churning mix of happiness, sadness, and loneliness. Well, I said to them, that's a good question. What should we do? But these are her memories, aren't they? Not mine. The lingering attachments of Shizu, back during her instructor days. I could tell, from my viewpoint, that she didn't want these kids to be involved in her strife. But perhaps they felt abandoned. Perhaps they cried, but even if they didn't, it was all so. All so what? What was I trying to And then my eyes opened. Please, those children, the ones in the dream. Please, rescue those children. Rescue, what on earth from? There was nobody to answer. She wanted to have me do something. That much was clear, but that was it. No more words, as her voice plunged into the darkness and disappeared. The remains of the dream faded away in my mind, the plaintive request left deserted and unnoticed. This felt like the first dream I had in a while. I feel lazy. I should just go back to sleep. What sort of nonsense are you spouting, Rimuru-sama? It was Ren, and she was glaring at me, the kind of look that made you rethink your life choices. Blithely following Ren's lead, I crawled out of bed, grumbling to myself. I'd be busy during the day. Battle training with Hakuro was on the schedule, as was an inspection trip to see how construction was proceeding. As I thought all this over, Ren gave me an exasperated sigh. Rimuru-sama, you're being inattentive again. You will be seeing off Benimaru and Rigure today. Oh yeah, that was today. Sure thing. Ah, yes, Benimaru and crew were heading off today. Several months had passed after Milam's departure. Several calm, chill, and very peaceful months. I was busy as always, but still, extremely chill. One day, though, a messenger appeared from Carillon, the master and one of the land's demon lords. I hadn't forged an official agreement with him on paper, but it appeared Carillon was a man true to his word. As the messenger put it, let us send envoys to our respective nations, so they may see for themselves whether forging trade relations would be beneficial to both sides. I gave my immediate approval, and Carillon had already given his. Which brings us to today, the historical day of departure for our envoy mission to the Beast Kingdom of Eurazania. They would be representatives for the Jura Tempest Federation, Tempest for short. Our nation, a brand new one, and thus, inexperienced in almost every way. We needed to compensate for that, and toward that end, we were all working together, putting in the maximum effort on a daily basis. It's thanks to that work ethic that I think this envoy mission to Eurazania should bear some serious fruit for us. We were also fully prepared to receive the Beast Master's own team. They'd come here, look around our nation, and hopefully come back with some complimentary things to say. If all goes well, we'll stay on good terms and, again, hopefully begin formal trade, and from there, formal diplomatic relations. It shouldn't take long. After thinking through all that, I finally looked up. Ren, where are we going? I asked. The envoy's set to depart in the evening. It's still morning, so I've got time. But before that, I need to finish the paperwork, again. Can't I just push this off onto Ren? Nope, she'd definitely get mad. Scary mad. We're going to the dress shop to get you dressed up for the ceremony, Ren said, a hint of excitement in her eyes. This is bad. If I go with her, I'm probably getting shoved into a bunch of cute outfits and it'll take hours. Honestly, the paperwork was starting to sound like the better option. I fumbled, trying to come up with an excuse. What about the paperwork? Don't worry, she replied, almost too cheerfully. I already took care of it. I reluctantly followed Ren through town, each step toward the dress shop feeling like a step deeper into doom. And just as I feared, the moment we arrived, Rimuru-sama Tilda, Shuna beamed, practically glowing with excitement. We've been waiting, Shion added with a cheerful smile, her eyes sparkling with anticipation. Haruna, ever the calm one, greeted me with a polite bow. Welcome, Rimuru-sama. We've prepared a selection just for you. Prepared, just for me? That sounds suspiciously like a trap. I looked around. The shop had already been transformed into some kind of fashion war zone. Frilly things everywhere, elegant robes hanging from racks, stacks of accessories taller than Gobta. Let's start with this one, Shuna said, holding up something that looked like it belonged in a royal ball. Wait, hang on, do I really need to wear something this formal? I mean, it's just a farewell ceremony. No complaining, Shuna said sweetly, her tone brooking no argument. Before I could protest again, Shuna was already pulling me toward the changing area. Ren handed me a pile of clothes with a smile sharp enough to cut steel, cool, composed, and clearly enjoying this way too much. I sighed quietly and accepted my fate. Resistance was clearly not an option. The dressing room curtain slid shut behind me with a finality that felt ominous. Let's just get this over with, I thought, staring at the first outfit, a navy blue ceremonial robe embroidered with golden patterns. Elegant, regal, and about 5 shades too fancy for my liking. Grumbling under my breath, I changed and stepped out. Ooh, very noble, Shuna clapped her hands, sparkling with approval. Too stiff, Ren said flatly, arms crossed, tilting her head with the eye of a seasoned fashion critic. Try the next one. The next was a deep crimson ensemble with flowing sleeves and a waist sash that required a full instruction manual. I emerged feeling like a heavily wrapped present. Now that's striking, Haruna said, giving an approving nod. Still missing something, Ren added, already holding up a third option. How many outfits did they prepare? One after another, I was sent back into the room. Ribbons, silks, embroidery, capes, frills. Frills. I emerged once wearing something suspiciously lacy, only to be met with. Kya tilde. Adorable, Shuna squealed, clasping her hands together. Ren's lips twitched in amusement. Not bad, I'll allow it. That's it, I've lost control of my life. The next one is a frilly pink dress with lace trim, ribbons, and puffed sleeves. I stared into the mirror, mortified. Why does this look like something Milam would force on me? When I stepped out, Xian gasped with delight. Ah, adorable, you look just like a princess. I stepped back in immediately without saying a word. Say a sleek, glittering gown with an open back and high slit. Stylish, yes, but completely over the top. Why do we even own this? When I walked out, Shuna politely clapped her hands. Elegant, but maybe too dramatic for a diplomatic ceremony. Ren tilted her head and smirked. Depends. Are we attending a ball or starting a war? After what felt like a dozen wardrobe changes, I stepped into the dressing room one last time. Waiting for me was an outfit unlike the rest. A simple cream blouse, a fitted brown vest, a dark navy skirt, thigh-high socks, and a deep crimson cloak fastened with a soft blue ribbon. This one actually looks wearable. With a small sigh of surrender, I got dressed and stepped out. There was a short pause. That's it, Ren said, already smiling. She was also in a stylish outfit herself, clearly enjoying this far more than I was. Perfect balance of cute and dignified. You look like you stepped right out of a fairy tale. Shuna chimed in, her hands clasped like she was about to cry tears of joy. Haruna gave a small nod. The red cloak is a nice touch. Charming, but not overdone. I looked at myself in the mirror. Honestly, not bad, not frilly, not suffocating, just cute enough to make me feel vaguely like a magical academy student, but still respectable. Guess this is my fate. Paperwork would have been kinder. Xian chuckled softly from the background, but thankfully kept her comments to herself this time. To be continued.